Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. It's another ink swatching channel. It's another ink swatching video, an ink deep dive, but I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before. Could be a disaster. Let's see. I have two inks. This is one of them that I've been given, but I actually I've never seen the swatch. I really don't know what they look like, and I've kept it like that. Because I wondered what would happen if I tried to do an ink deep dive of like finding, I've got all my inks next to me over here, finding comparable things in real time. Hence it could be awesome, could be a disaster. The one I've chosen is Sailor Manyo Ume. The other one I have is Ferris Wheel Press Adventurine, I think it's called, which I know is a shimmer. So hopefully if this isn't a disaster, I can do that one as well. For some reason, my fridge sounds like a dying something of some sort. So I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. That's what we're going to do. I've got all my usual stuff. Like the swatching process itself will be as normal. Don't have a cup of tea today. I have orange juice with something called Questran. Shout out to any of my Crohn's buddies out there, or anyone who's had any sort of bowel section and their bile salt is all messed up, because it's not fun. I had an ileocecal bowel section a few years ago, and my bile salt absorption doesn't really work, or I have a malabsorption, you would say. I am saying. And it's always a guessing game with this, I call it sand, but this powder that I have to drink to try and help it, and it is really, really annoying. So I am just getting that down the hatch as we film this. So opening up the vial, it looks like a really, really deep, I just got some on my hands, like a deep red, but like super deep, like red-brown almost. So let's have a look here. I'm going to put this swatch right in the middle, I reckon. So I have a couple of tattoos. You've probably only seen that one. I got two more. If I had endless time and endless money, I'd probably be covered in them. I really love them. I'm also not, like, I can't draw, so it's not like I can like design them myself. I kind of have ideas and then I need help. But the reason I'm saying that is I've always wanted to get, and it's been vetoed, my wife has vetoed it. I've always wanted to get a tattoo on my bum cheek that says Crohn's gives me the shits, because I thought it would be funny. Ooh, okay, so this is a very rich red, but there is a warmth to it. Most reds probably you would go, most reds are warm, but I can almost see, my cat's stuck somewhere. I can see bits of brown and bits of pink. Dragon. My cat's name's Dragon. So along the edges there, like you can see bits of, browns and pinks, as I was saying, but then as it comes in, I'm just seeing like chunky, rich, warm red. But I think I would love to look at like a pink next to this. I'd love to look at a red, maybe an orange. So this is the bit that I wasn't entirely sure if it's going to work or not, but I'll do a writing sample underneath it, because I guess I have to find colors in real time. But what we could also do in real time is, use that timestamp. I just put the lid on and I need to use that timestamp function in the comments and let me know which ones you would be pulling out of your collection to look next to. So, like, even look at on the nib. This is, we're going to say, oh, it writes really nicely on the nib. Sailor Manyo Ume. All right, so actually, as I'm watching it dry, it's going to have a bit of sheen. Okay, I'm saying that that is having a green sheen, and everyone who knows this ink's going to be like, yeah. Maybe this is just going to be a sweary video. No shit, Sherlock. Apologies. I feel like a lot of people, like, in the fountain pen community are like, and this is not an insult at all, are like quite wholesome. And it's very nice. Like, people are so kind and genuine and loving, but then, like, kind of what comes along with that can be like being polite. And then I just feel like I'm going to try so hard not to swear. I have such a dirty mouth, which is really bad in front of, I'm really trying, obviously, with kids as well. But maybe I'll put a warning up that this one's going to have some swear words in it. And then depending on how it goes down, we can do like, this is like swearing that everyone could deal with, and then there could be like videos that's swearing that like Aussies could deal with, because oh my God, can Aussies have a potty mouth? So circling back, I don't know if you can say right up or along there. I'm hoping it comes in there a bit too. There's like a green sheen. It looks on like the lighter side, like sometimes it almost looks greeny gold. The first color I would like to pull out, so I would love to see Oxblood next to it, because that is a color everyone knows, and is another like dark red. Let's have a looky here. I'm trying to limit myself to this, and it's full, and that's an issue. So let me pull out some. So just thinking kind of out loud, Monteverde Gemstone Ruby might be too bright, but could be something worth just looking at. That's a really interesting red, but it's not super saturated. So this to me is a really punchy ink, and that one is a lot more subtle. One of these could be interesting to kind of compare to like some of the pink undertones I was seeing. Try and find like a brown for that same reason. Oxblood. If you like just came into the video now and all you heard was Oxblood, that would be weird. So this is the bit that I didn't know if it was going to end up being like really boring or not, but I'll just keep talking you through what I'm thinking. Waterfront Dusk Birmingham Pen Company is going to be too purple. I think I'm trying to find something with that richness that I'm trying to talk about, like pulling out some brown. I wonder if that could be, maybe we can go and have a look at the swatch together. All right, Oxblood, I think, yes, let's have a look at that. Do I have anything that's like brownie red? Are you a brownie red? Are you a brownie red? Ooh, yeah, that has a sheen, red with a green sheen. So that would be really interesting. Forgot about that one. What's in here? So what I just don't have a brown. What would be a brown that you guys would choose to try and come in with some of those tones there? Maybe. So this is what I'm thinking. Thinking definitely yes to these two. And if we go for 4, because that is what I've done in the past, I'm just trying to think if I have a brown that's right. See, that's the one I was thinking. That's that red I was saying probably isn't right, but that's super pink. Browns. you know what? I'm going to go with my gut on that one because I think maybe that's the brown I'm trying to find, that browny red. All right, and then let's just try the other one. All right, so we're going to go with 4. Let me know what you would have chosen. And let's jump in. Oh, I haven't washed anything yet. Just bring it up so you can see it dry. I don't think I'm getting any sheen on that writing sample, but I am getting some along that pooling in there. It's really nice. I'm really only at the start of my shading ink discovery. And what I'm learning about myself thus far is inks that are just like crazy sheen, you know, organic studio nitrogen. It's just not for me. I've had this similar, I guess, journey with shimmerings as well. I love the base color of inks and I want to see them and be able to experience them. So if they're completely overtaken by something, like I probably just would have preferred to get an ink in that color, if that makes sense. So let's start off. I'm not really doing these in any particular order. I'll start off with Diamine Oxblood. This is a bit of a cult classic of an ink, super dark red. In some pens, I haven't left enough room there, have I? We'll make it work. In some pens, it can almost look black, depending on the nib and the wetness of the pen. So what jumps out at me straight away is when I was talking about in this one kind of seeing those warmer, pinker undertones, that reinforces it for me. That red looks a much truer red compared to this. I see reds and browns, but like colder in there. And in this one, that's just making the pinks and almost oranges a little bit jump out at me even more, which is really interesting to see. This one felt so nice on the nib. So this one is, this is always a pleasure to write with. Diamine Oxblood. All right, next up, let's go with the Carube de Chypre. Now, this is actually a shimmer ink, but it just so happens this sample doesn't have lots of shimmer in it, which I don't mind for this. But if you are looking at this going, oh, is that a real representation of that ink? I definitely would recommend looking at swatches of this ink because it's supposed to have more shimmer. It's part of it's the Jehoban 1670 range. Which, I mean, is a beautiful range. Everyone knows that. Now I'm going to try and do my spacing right and squeeze that in there. Ooh, a lot of ink. Let's go for it. Oh my God, I almost put the syringe in the rest of my... And this is why it's gross. Like, it's this powder, right? But the dosage isn't exact. So, like, at the moment, I try and do half a sachet every other day. And then, like, today... so much pain, not in a good place. So I'm having like it again. Like it's all a guessing game because as much as my body doesn't absorb bile salt correctly, it's not like it doesn't absorb the same amount like every time. Like it's constantly changing, which is like super fun. Oh, gross. All right, that's out the way. If you do use Questran and you're struggling, I have tested a few juices and I can tell you that orange juice is the best. So I love this color. This is that browny orangey red that I've been trying to describe. It kind of annoys me that I didn't get my spacing, but we'll get over it. Looking at these bits, and if you just compare to like around the corners here, that's I think why I chose it. There is a relationship there. So let's look at the writing sample of this one. And I never remember how to spell it. Of the three of them, this ink feels the driest. That is in no way to say it is a dry ink. These two just really glide with this on the nib, and I can just feel the resistance of the nib a touch more. But looking at them, this helps me, I think, pick out some of the warmth I was seeing in there compared to up here. That's completely dry now, so it is quite a nice subtle sheen, and it's like a sheen where it's haloing versus like that's almost just like a black halo there. Next up, I am going with Robert Oster Purple Hippo. It's an interesting ink. It's got purple in the title. I actually wouldn't call it purple. I think it's kind of more like a reddy brown, but kind of depending what you use it in. So I'm interested to see kind of how it compares. Let's have a look here. And it's kind of just worked out, which is nice, that all the inks are actually from different brands. So what's just jumped out at me then is the first thing I said was it doesn't seem purple to me, it seems more red. And then looking at it next to full-on reds, I actually see it as purple for the first time. I've never really seen the purple jump out at me, but now I can. What I can see is I would say this has some browns in it as well, so you're kind of seeing that carry through there, but that's really interesting to me. It makes this one look, make me think of the lighter undertones being more orange, like in this family, than pinky purple, like in that family, which I wouldn't have known if I hadn't put them all together like this. So this is Robert Oster. I always forget, is it Hippo Purple? Hippo Purple. I may have said purple hippo before. Cool. Lucky last. This is going to have some of that black haloing like this one will. It's also just looking at it, feeling like the Diaminox blood, no surprises, is the wettest of the bunch thus far. It's still taking the longest to dry. Interesting. I've just never seen this one as super purple before. And I understand it's like purple adjacent, but it just looks so purple now compared to everything else on the page. Last on the list is Bunglebox Ink of Nut Otora, which is a red ink with a green sheen. I think it might be a darker green sheen. So we will have a look. I haven't put this pen oh my goodness. Haven't put the ink in a pen yet. I've just swatched it for 30 inks, 30 days. So let's have a look at it compared to the rest. I'll just clean everything up first. This has been, I've really enjoyed doing this. How long? Oh my God, I've been going for 20 minutes. Hopefully I can edit some stuff out. I've really enjoyed doing this in real time and being completely surprised by an ink. Like sometimes, obviously, like you look at an ink online or look at people's things, and then when you use it, you go, oh, I'm experiencing it for the first time. But being completely blind like this to an ink and then working it out and discovering it has been really, really cool. So much fun. I would like to do more of this. I need to think of a way to do more of this. I know Pulp Addiction does random sample packs. That could be something I could do. I'll have to have a think. This has been so much fun. All right, lucky last. Wow, I could have sworn I saw that as a dark red. Just goes to show. So, what am I seeing? It almost looks quite orange, doesn't it? Compared to up here. And it makes that one look more brown. But if we're looking at the Ume in the middle, I kind of want to look at these bits here, even in that E. these bits, the lighter bits, like moving away from that darker pool, I'm seeing a real relationship there. And interestingly, now that I've just done that, that darker pool bit is looking a bit purple, isn't it? There's just so many layers to the ink. So I'll just write down where we are. This is this is another one that feels quite wet on the nib, which is nice. Still nothing compared to this one. But even as I write, I just feel like you're really seeing that reddy orange come through. I'm just waiting to see if any sheen's going to pop up. Nothing in the writing sample. But I think as this dries, we'll see some sheen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for this to dry so then we can do kind of a final close-up and some thoughts, and then that'll be us done. But I've had so much fun. I know I said let me know if you want me to do the Ferris wheel press one, but I think I'm just going to do it right now. This was so interesting to do. So interesting. Wow. All right, I'll be back in a sec. All right, we're almost dry. Just going to show you, that's the bit of sheen coming up there. It is actually a lighter green as well. So really interesting, super cool to see. I mean, this has been really fun to do. To recap everything, the ink I had no idea about, Sailor Manyo Ume. Straight away I did was thinking about comparing it to Oxblood, and I had remembered this ink. I wanted to look at inks that were maybe browny, pinky. I was thinking about maybe a Robert Oster Plum Nut, but maybe that's kind of more too true pink. This one, looking against other colours, has always looked a bit red to me. That's why I chose it. But in here, you can actually see there's definitely a relationship in the brown, but it is quite purple, looking at that relationship of the darker pooling there. It has more of a subtle sheen, which I like. Obviously, the limitations of Stalogy paper probably help that. But it's been that's a really beautiful ink. It feels on the wetter side, not as wet as Oxblood, but definitely wetter than Karub de Chypre and Hippo Purple. This one, comparable, but maybe a touch drier, touch. It's hard, I am just using a dip pen. This has been Ink Deep Dive in real time, discovering an ink with me that I haven't seen or swatched before, and then trying to find 4 from my collection that could match. So doing a close-up, the ink in the middle, Sailor Manyo Ume, Diamine Oxblood, J. Herbin, 1670 Karub de Chypre, Robert Oster Hippo Purple, and down the bottom, Bungle Box ink of Naotora. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and hopefully this has been enjoyable for you. It's actually been really enjoyable for me. I would love to know what other inks came to mind when you first saw this and what you would have used to compare it with. Let me know in the comments below. I don't know if I've asked in a while, but if you could like and subscribe, it would be a massive help to me and my channel, and I can't wait to do this again with you guys soon. Bye.